Okay, hey guys, it's Ashley. I know I look kind of strange. I just have nothing, no makeup on or anything. But I just want to talk today about dwelling. And a lot of us make mistakes. Everyone does. And there's times when you're going to go through things that you feel like nothing is ever going to get better. Or like you're going to make a mistake. And you're going to think that there's nothing you can do to feel better about that mistake. And the really big thing that we have to remember, and I know how hard it is to remember this, but when something's in the past, you literally can't control it. If you make a really big mistake, you can't dwell in the fact that you made that mistake because you're never going to feel better about it. But when you do make a mistake, you need to do whatever you can to make it better. Like if you hurt somebody, go apologize to them. Do whatever you can to help that person gain respect from you again. If you lie about something, tell the person the honest truth. Tell them, if they don't want to hear an excuse, don't give them one. But if you have the ability, tell them why you lied. They deserve to know that. And you honestly deserve to explain yourself, because every single person makes mistakes. We all do. Some of us just get caught. Some of us just get put into really bad situations. You can't dwell on the fact that you messed up. You have to do whatever you can, like I said, to make it better. And then you have to force yourself to not make the same mistake twice. I wrote something about this a really long time ago. I kind of compared the whole thing to a basketball game. Right here. When you first start playing basketball, you suck. You're a little kid. You're awful. You miss every single shot. You dribble with two hands. You run across the court with the ball in your hands. You can't do that. But you're so young that you don't understand. You don't know that that's not how you play the game. But then you get older and you learn that you can't run across the court with the ball in your hands. But when we're little, we make these mistakes multiple times. And even when you get older and you're a teenager and you're playing basketball, one mistake does not make you a bad basketball player. Two mistakes don't make you a bad basketball player. It's when you know you're making a mistake and you're purposefully doing it over and over and over again and not trying to get better when you are a bad basketball player. Everyone who starts playing basketball is gonna suck. If you can't make a layup to save your life at the beginning of a season, you have the ability to be able to make one by the end, but you have to work for it. Now, it's very different because like some people just don't care about basketball because it's not their passion, but with being a good person, you should care. You should be passionate about being a good person, and you shouldn't go your whole season without trying to fix that layup that you can never make. But you can't get down on yourself for making a mistake 2 or 3 times. It's when you are aware that you are continuing to make a mistake when you have a problem. And that's when you kind of need to get forcefully shut down by maybe your parents or something. We just need to learn from the good and the bad. You can't just learn from the bad and you can't just learn from the good. Because everyone's like, why do we have to experience bad things? Like, why? It sucks. But you literally cannot experience good if you don't know what bad feels like. They aren't compatible. They're opposites. You don't know what dark is until you don't see any light. You don't know what light is until you don't see any dark. You don't know what good is unless you experience bad. And this happens to ourselves too. You can't experience the good parts of you if you don't experience the bad parts of you. Teenagers and kids and maybe even adults, something bad happens, they make a mistake, someone does something bad to them, and they let it eat them apart. And they act out upon it in bad ways. They push people away, they push themselves away. They do things that won't help anything in the long run. We have problems, and having problems hurt. They really do. So when we feel that awful, we want to do whatever we can to make that feeling of awfulness just go away. And so that's why people can turn to substances or materials to try to make these things go away. But when you are dealing with something, a mistake, a problem, something that someone did to you, when you do drugs or alcohol or sit in front of your TV and watch TV, you aren't dealing with it. It's like taking a pain medication that's just going to get rid of the pain for a minute. Like, when I got my wisdom teeth out, I'd take that Oxycontin stuff and it would get rid of the pain, but the pain would come right back. That's what those things do. They don't deal with your problem. They push it away for later. One of the things that I kind of realized today or thought about today was when I was little, I dealt with loss of my dog when I was really young. And I remember I wasn't sad. Like, I didn't cry. I was the only one in my family who didn't cry at the loss of my dog. And I was so confused. Like, why couldn't I cry about my dog? Like, my dog is dead in front of me and I'm not crying, and I was in the 3rd grade. What I did was subconsciously, I was so young, I subconsciously felt that sadness for a second, and the sadness of my family members for a second, and I put it into this hole I have in my head where I stored all of my emotions. And I'm sure a bunch of people do that. You might do it. You take something bad that happens to you and you subconsciously, or maybe purposely, put it into a little hole that you have in your head, but it's just going to overflow over time if you keep doing that. And my problem was I was so young that I didn't even know I was doing it. Being happy is everyone's goal in life, but you can't just be happy. Teenagers' lives are hard. I know they're just hard. Like, we go through stuff and we physically don't know how to deal with it, but it's because we don't have that much life behind us. So, like, everything bad that we experience is a new bad thing. But you can't just experience something bad and then ignore it. You can't make a mistake and dwell on it and not get better. You can't do that. You have to take good things and bad things and learn from them. For example, there will be times in your life, and there has been times in your lives where you felt on top of the freaking world and nothing was ever going to bring you down. You need to remember that feeling. When you feel super low, you're going to feel super high again. And you need to live for those high moments. But you cannot get there unless you work through the low moments in the right positive way. And also, when you're in a high moment, don't let it overwhelm you. Like, don't get too caught up in it. You need to, like, breathe, calm down. You need to be thankful. You need to be humble. You cannot forget where you started. You need to remember the people that you are with through this whole journey. And you need to think about what you can do to make it even better for yourself and those around you. Say you won the lottery and you're on top of the world, like, oh my god, I'm so happy, I won the freaking lottery. I don't know if you're like, if I tell you this and you're like, oh my god, well, I would never do that, but maybe win the lottery, take your entire family out for dinner. And do it in a way that's not you want to show off your money, just you want to bring people together. Use that good thing to help grow. Subconsciously, we all know what we need to be happy. We need to love ourselves, we need to love others, we need to be we need to be forgiving, we need to be caring, we need to be forgiving of ourselves as well. We need to find things that make us happy even when we're sad. Every one of us knows. You know, deep down inside, you know what you need to be happy. But on the surface, we don't want to deal with it. We just want to, like, live and just fly through life and just not really go into depth. But I cannot tell you how important I think it is to go into depth. And when in the past I've been told that being deep is bad because it makes you sad. There are two different kinds of deep. I used to be the sad deep. I would just beat myself up, and some people would be mean to me, or I'd feel unwanted or unliked, and I'd blame myself, and I'd be like, I'd go deep about why I felt unwanted or why I felt like I was not liked. But now I've transformed from that kind of a deep to improving myself. You can't live wanting to make other people happy. You can't do that. Other people's actions are completely out of your control. You can only make yourself happy. And you can truly make yourself happy, but you're the only one that can do it. And I'm trying really hard to go out in a positive way. And I think it's working. Because what I want to do with my life is help people. That's what I want to do. And I am scared to death to put this video on the internet, honestly. But I'm going to. I'm going to. Because I'm not going to let that fear hold me back from getting to where I know I want to be. And where I know I need to be. Because I don't care if people think that this is weird. I'm doing it for myself. And that's what you guys need to do. You need to listen.
Know the real cost. Brought to you by the FDA.
Probably gonna crop that out, but it was just an ad about e-cigarettes and stuff. They said that e-cigarettes has a drug that's addictive as heroin. I didn't know that. Did you guys? Okay, sorry. Anyway, my challenge is, okay, I know that I've been pretty bad at making these videos. My goal is to make them once a week, but I'm 17. And I'm gonna try my best to make a video at least once every other week, because I need to start doing this more because it makes me happy. I know that I'm getting to where I want to be when I make these videos. And I'm gonna start having a challenge at the end of every video, and the challenge for this one is the next time you experience something bad or you experience something good, may the bad thing go from a bad grade on a test to being in a whole lot of trouble, or a good thing getting a good grade on a test, or winning the freaking lottery. My challenge is to see what you can learn from that. You got a bad grade on a test. Yeah, it sucks for about 30 minutes, it should. And then what can you do to get that grade better next time? What can you learn from it? Take that freaking grade, go into depth with it, and grow. Meet with your teacher more. I know it's like really weird on the, but just learn something from bad things and learn something from good things. I just think it's so important to not dwell in the past. Don't focus on your mistakes. Don't focus on people that don't think you're good enough for them, because you are good enough. But who cares what they think, because you only need to be good enough for yourself. No one else. Only yourself. Don't worry about other people, because it doesn't matter what they think. All that matters is what you think. And you shouldn't let other people interfere with that. A lot of you might not have had to hear this, but I just really wanted to talk about it, because I feel that us as teenagers kind of go through a lot of stuff, and we really let it get down on us subconsciously and then not right in front of our faces. And it's not really healthy to just put things in that hole that you have in the back of your head that will eventually overflow if just more emotions keep getting put in there. And I just want you guys to remember that you can learn things. Everything you go through, good and bad, have a message behind them to help you grow and be happier, but you have to find it. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again very soon.